The last four on here kind of have these all mixed together. So it says find the value of the variable for each triangle. So I want to know what x is. So not like the one we just did where I never asked what x was. Here the goal is what does x equal? If it's an angle, we're going to round to the nearest degree. If it's a side, it's the nearest tenth. So this is kind of mixing yesterday and today's together because you really do need to pay attention to when do you do what thing, because that tends to be what is the pitfall for most students, is paying attention to how you solve what you're given. So on part A, I see a right triangle. Therefore, the Pythagorean theorem is fair game. If you notice, the right angle is here, which means the hypotenuse is this side. You could find that with the Pythagorean theorem because you know the other two sides. But the question doesn't say find the hypotenuse. It's find the thing that's noted as missing. So I'm finding an angle. Pythagorean theorem's not going to find me an angle. I'm going to have to use sine, cosine, or tangent. So from that angle, I can figure out that the leg next to my angle is the 31. The leg across from my angle is the 26. And because I'm not using the hypotenuse, we can go ahead and figure out that this would have to be a tangent equation. So I'm going to start my equation like we always do. Tangent of my angle is equal to the ratio of the opposite leg over the adjacent leg. Now, again, pay attention to where you just put that angle. Is it over in the ratio? Because if it is, cross multiply. It's not. We just got to knock out this tangent. To do that, the opposite of tangent is tangent inverse, the tangent with the little -1. So I'm going to take tangent inverse of both sides of my equal sign. The nice thing about that is I've got an x on its own. So into my calculator, I need to figure out how do I put in tangent inverse of 26 out of 31. Now from this point on, you just got to know how your particular calculator works. So some of you with the backwards calculator, good luck. But it should be about 40. My calculator spit out 39.986. So it should be close to 40. I'm not going to do part B. I want to scroll down and look at part C. Another right triangle. So here's my right angle. This is the hypotenuse. Now, this question actually is, what is the hypotenuse? But you cannot do the Pythagorean theorem here. Pythagorean theorem needs to know two of the sides. I'd have to use this squared plus something squared set equal to something else squared. You don't want to have two unknown things in an equation if you can avoid it. So I'm going to have to use trigonometry, which is why I've given you an angle. So label things from the acute angle that you're given. So this angle is made up of two sides. One side is the hypotenuse. The other side is the adjacent leg. I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to end up using it. We will use the side that's across from the acute angle. So if I'm not going to use the adjacent leg, but I am going to use the opposite and the hypotenuse, SOHCAHTOA lets me know that's going to be a sine equation. Always, always, always write your angle next. In these notes, we've been focusing on putting an x next because I didn't know my angle. For part C, I know my angle. It's a 47. We're going to set it equal to the fraction of opposite over hypotenuse. Again, pay attention to where your x is. It's in my fraction this time. Anytime it's over there, doing inverse will not help you get x on its own. You're going to need to write a proportion to cross multiply. Some of you have probably picked up on the pattern of when you do what to solve. Just cross multiply and then you never have to guess. 19 times 1 is 19, and it's going to be equal to x times the sine of 47. I still don't have x by itself. I just multiplied x times the sine of 47. So to get x on its own, you need to do the opposite of multiplying by the sine of 47, which is to divide by the sine of 47. So into my calculator, I need to figure out 19 divided by sine of 47. So some of your calculators, that's exactly what you're going to type in. A reminder from yesterday, some of you will be doing 19 divided by 47 sine equals. And when I put it in my calculator, I'm getting 25.979. And it said if it's a side length, round it to the nearest tenth. This 7 makes that 9 round up. The number after 9 is 10. So if I carry that over, whatever, 25, if you have $25.97, when you round it up, you're going to have $26. So when you find a side length, you have to cross multiply. When you find an angle, you have to do inverse. If you're not going to do either of those things, remember Pythagorean theorem sometimes will accomplish what you need to find.